Liberty Select Heavy Duty Foil is all you need, from cooking your paella and covering your dishes to baking potatoes on the braai. Trust Liberty Select to bring out your inner chef. Maggi Professional's newly launched creamy garlic herb and salad dressing brings all the flavors you know and love together with a twist. Use it as a condiment, dressing, dipping sauce, or even as a marinade. Lactalis South Africa's premium cheeses continue to win awards annually, and they've kindly supplied a selection of their finest cheeses such as Woolworths Gouda and President Mature Cheddar for you to snack on. Wild Peacock is a versatile distributor of quality goods to both the restaurant and retail sectors. They have kindly supplied us with their premium Blue Ocean mussels, as well as Almeida Bomba Paella rice and Almeida smoked paprika. Serena offers a wide range of products to transform your home-cooked meal into a culinary masterpiece. The Serena Extra Virgin Olive Oil not only brings authentic Mediterranean flavor to your table, but it is also one of the healthiest oils and rich in antioxidants.
Nature's patterns and structures have developed over millions of years, resulting in an ingenious system that sustains a myriad of wildlife. By looking to nature, we as humans can find organic solutions to some of our toughest challenges. An hour's drive from Cape Town, where the Atlantic and Indian Oceans meet, lies the west coast town of Saldanha. The pristine waters of this natural bay, coupled with the icy, nutrient-rich Benguela Current, make for perfect conditions to farm black mussels. Since 1987, we at Blue Ocean Mussels have been using our unique deep water site and its unpolluted waters to produce one of the most sustainable and delicious foods in the world, our mussels. The mussels are grown on long ropes which dangle freely from anchored rafts. Newly spawned mussels drift in the fertile water currents, naturally settling on these kelp-like tendrils. After 12 months underwater, the mussels are hauled from their depths. The sizey mussels are separated for the market, whilst the smaller mussels are returned to the ropes in a sustainable practice known as seeding. Here, they will grow for another 8 months until the harvest process repeats itself once more. Since the mussels are grown on ropes, they are free of sand and grit. Water and mussel samples are continuously tested to ensure that the meat is of the highest quality. They get cleaned and packaged in a world-class facility by our dedicated team of over 200 local community members. This intricate process guarantees that only the finest frozen and fresh mussels are delivered to the market at all times. Our rope-grown mussels are not only one of the most sustainable foods in the world, they are also packed with vitamins, nutrients, and high-quality protein. This system, inspired by nature itself, continues to deliver harvest after harvest without any disturbance to the surrounding ecosystem. At Blue Ocean Mussels, we take the minimum and return the rest for Mother Nature to nurture further. It relies only on the relationship between the ocean and the rope. Blue Ocean Mussels, prepared by nature.
Hi, and welcome to the first episode of Season 2 of Live Cook. I'm Pete Goffe-Wood, as usual, your host, and I'd like to welcome you to this fantastic kitchen. It's so good. We are celebrating our first birthday. We've now been doing this a year, so welcome to all of you who've been joining us for this past year. The number, I think we're on episode 12. For those of you who cooked along for as long as you have, great to have you back with us in the kitchen. And for those joining us for the first time, welcome and good luck. We're going to try something a little bit new this evening. It's season 2, so we're trying to step it up a little bit. What we're doing tonight for the very first time is we're going to go live at 6 o'clock on DSTV television. We're going to be live on channel 180, the People's Weather Channel, where you can also get that on channel 115 on OpenView, and we're going to be cooking to a wider audience. Those of you who bought your boxes will be joining us and cooking alongside, but we're also going to be throwing this open to a much bigger audience, taking Live Cook to a whole new level. So, for that, we're going to talk some preamble on the second, but we've got an hour to cook, so you guys need to stay with the program, keep sharp, watch the recipe, listen to myself and the chef, and we're going to have some serious fun tonight. Tonight's live cook experience is brought to you by Meadowland. Fantastic. So, We are in the most magnificent kitchen. As you can see, we have, you can't see in the corner, I can see Table Mountain from here. It's a beautiful winter evening in Cape Town, and I'm joined by a fantastic chef, a chef who has a magnificent reputation, not only in this country, but worldwide, and we're in his magnificent kitchen. Liam Tomlin, welcome, my man. We are cooking with you tonight. How's it going?
Nice to have you here, Pete.
So, it's fantastic. As I said, we're cooking in Cape Town. I've been given notes to say, according to Westgrow, one of the best cities of the world. I'm going to make a correction. We are the best city in the world, and here's why. So we're back. Liam Tomlin, who needs no introduction, so he's not going to get any. No, just kidding. Those of you who know anything about food in this country will know the Chef's Warehouse brand. Liam is the brains behind it, but he's also the inspiration of it. I mean, he has a series of units all run by people who have come up through the ranks and proved themselves in his kitchen, and he is a chef of note. Trust me, we'll talk about it a little bit later. I have spent a couple of days in his kitchen in Sydney, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But he is without doubt one of the most talented mentors, not only a chef in his own right, but he also has inspired chefs to go on to great things in this country, and it's an absolute pleasure, as I said, to cook. And as you can see, this magnificent, shiny kitchen, of which I have coveted since the moment I walked into it. Liam, tell us a little bit about what you're cooking tonight.
Pete, thanks for that lovely introduction. And it's lovely to have you in my home, in this kitchen. We're doing a paella. I thought it'd be a lovely dish just to represent one of our restaurants. I mean, when I got asked to do this, there's so many dishes that represent our brand.
Yeah.
But, recently during COVID, we just converted one of the restaurants into a Spanish Pinchos bar. Mm-hmm. We've got a restaurant in Barcelona, and I just thought it'd be lovely to do a little paella.
Great connection. And it's one of those things, there's sometimes people think that paella is a summer dish, but it largely depends on what sort of ingredients you use. I think it's all year round.
All year. Yeah, I mean, in Spain they eat it all year round. Yeah. It's a bit like in Italy they eat risotto. It's not a seasonal dish. I mean, rice everywhere in the world is eaten every single day.
Pretty much all the time. It's a staple. Don't forget, folks, this is, even though we may be crossing live to DSTV a little bit later, it's still a live interactive cook. Those of you who are standing ready to go in your kitchens with your box of ingredients, we still want to hear from you. We've still got our live feed on YouTube, so any of those comments, any of those questions, keep them coming. We will answer whatever we can as we go. And we're grateful for some of our sponsors that made tonight possible. We're going to go live, but I mean, some of the things that we've had here this evening have been quite magnificent. We've got some great ingredients. what sort of, before we get stuck into the whole cooking kind of vibe, what sort of prep should the guys be doing before we get stuck into tonight?
Pete, I put the sofrito on, just warming her up slightly. Obviously, because we're under a time restraint, so we're trying to get as much done as possible. So we've got the sofrito on, I've got the chicken stock just simmering here. I've obviously diced the chorizo, I've got the onions, the garlic, all the other dry ingredients ready. Over here.
Okay, we're just going to jump before we snap into the deveining of the prawns, which you're going to show us how to do in a sec, and the mussels. We're just going to go to a quick message from one of our sponsors, and then we'll be back on the chopping board, and we're going to go through the deveining and cleaning of the prawns. Okay, and so we're back. And we're getting ready to start tucking into our prep. Liam is now going to take us through just cleaning the prawns quickly. We're trying to get as much prep done as possible in this first 30 minutes, because once we hit that 6 o'clock live feed to the People's Channel, we want to get cracking. So Liam, take us through the actual cleaning of the prawns.
So we got the prawns. Obviously, we want to keep, for maximum flavor, Pete, we want to keep the shell on, we want to keep the head on. There's so much flavor in there. Obviously, we're just going to take a sharp knife. We're going to go right down the center from the head. So get the knife in there. Take your time. Just direct the knife so you go straight down the center and through the tail. And then with the back of your hand, just press it down and split the prawn apart. And
cool.
These ones.
So we pretty much watch the two halves kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely. There we go. So we want to just split the two. And then we want to take all this away.
All that little gunk, that dark gunk. Okay,
so
that's cool.
Just with the tip of the knife.
You
see it there on camera. Just remove all of that. Because that's quite bitter, so you don't want that in the paella.
Yeah, sure.
So we're going to take it out, but I don't want to wash these, okay? Because we're going to wash all the flavor away. So
otherwise, all that flavour that's in the head is lost if you start rinsing them. So just give it a bit of a scrape rather than anything else.
With the tip of the knife, get as much of that out as possible. As I said, keeping the shell intact. And in the head, there's, all that dark coloured thing. And then you just keep that aside, and then do the same on the other side. And then do that with the remaining prawns, okay?
Okay, fantastic.
And because these have been, obviously they're frozen, so the head may come apart. Because they're not fresh. But just keep it, put it back together, and that's fine. But we want all that shell in the paella for flavor, because that's going to punch. That's going to give a huge flavor punch. And then keep your knife clean. Just wipe it down, and then start the next one.
Okay, fantastic. So we're getting all of that done. Cut the prawns in half, and we're just getting that little dark trace that runs down the back of the body. Scrape that out, because, we don't want that bitterness into the paella, but we want all that juicy goodness that's inside the head, because that's where a lot of the flavour is with those shells. So we're going to continue cutting those. That's going to be brilliant. I'm going to, while Liam is cutting the prawns, I'm going to just talk a little bit about the kind of wine that you would drink traditionally with paella. I suppose it depends on the time of year that you're doing it, what your ingredients are. I know in some regions of Spain, Liam, they don't even have seafood in it. They use rabbit or they use frog legs. So it's kind of depending on what your ingredients are drives what you'd pair with this, really, doesn't it?
It depends what region, like you say, what region. Different regions of Spain. I think it originated in Valencia. As far as wine, we use wine in the cooking of the mussels. And whether you're cooking Spanish, French, Italian, whatever you're cooking, my rule is whatever wine you're cooking with, is probably the wine you want to be serving whatever you're going to serve the dish with.
Okay. Cool.
You know, I'm not saying go into your cellar and pick the best,
Sure.
most expensive wine you got, but for me, wine should be treated as an ingredient as well.
Yeah.
It's as important as the prawn or the rice or the pea or the chicken or the mussels or whatever. It's an ingredient, so treat it like an ingredient.
Yeah, I think without a doubt, that old adage that if you can't drink it, you can't cook with it.
Yeah.
I think holds still. But we are talking about some fantastic. Once again, we're in Cape Town, and Westgrow has is a great promoter of the wine capitals of the world. And here's a short message. Okay, and we're back. So you've seen the wine capital of the world, magnificent province that we live in. Liam is now getting finished doing on his prawns. You guys should be there the same. Obviously taking, as we always do, the fact that the chefs, so taking into consideration the chefs always do are a little bit better at this than you are. Don't worry, you're lagging behind. But what Liam's doing is just finishing off his prawns, and we're going to do the unboxing and going through the ingredients as we normally do on these cooks. Once we hit that 6 o'clock live feed, we will go through all of the ingredients. We're just trying to get up to speed at the moment, just so that everyone can be ready, and we'll show the rest of the DST watching people exactly how we roll on live cook. Don't forget tonight, as usual, we want to see the photos of your finished dishes on hashtag live cook channel. It ain't food, and it'd never happen unless we see those pictures. So remember to bear with us. As you can see, Liam is really starting to, you see exactly what's happening there, just scraping out those little grey bits. The rest of it is where all the flavour is. And that's what we're after. Don't worry if you're not cutting with the precision that Liam is. He has been cooking for 30 plus years since he was...
Way too long.
Yeah, way too long. 35, 30 odd years since he was 7.
That's it.
Never mind. The fact that we're both eligible for vaccination tells you a little bit about how old we are. But never mind about that. Okay, let's have a look. We've got some comments here on our... Vanessa is saying the mussels should all be fine. Yes, there you go. Is it? Okay, that's cool. So, Oh, wow, so we're having here, Tundo is saying the kids ate at 5:30, so now they're already tucking, so this is just for the two of them, which is great to see. That's it. My mussels are also open. Yes, don't worry about the mussels being open. Under normal circumstances, what we would have done is we would have had to beard them and scrape them clean, but they Daily Dish seem to have supplied us with some fantastic open cooked mussels already, so don't stress too much about that.
We'll still put them in a bit of wine and
but we were still going to warm them through in a little bit of wine because we want that lovely muscly stock to go into the actual dish itself. Okay, so we're super. Okay, cool. So we're now getting ready to get stuck into the actual cook itself, and obviously, as usual, we've got some thanks and some people who've been joining us. We'd like to welcome the management crew from Bounty Foods, who are cooking along with, and of course, happy birthday to Anelda van der Walt. It's so good to have all of you with us. Nothing has changed in terms of how we do tonight. It's going to be cook along. We're going to get stuck in. As I said, keep it interactive. If you need to ask us questions, please do it on your YouTube channel. For those of you who join us a little bit later on the People's Weather channel, obviously don't have the luxury of cooking along or chatting with us. So you can. Liam, are we?
Yeah, pretty much
Prawns
ready.
are okay, we're ready. That's cool.
Mussels, we've got the chicken.
Mussels,
we've got
chicken.
everything ready.
So we're going to go through our ingredients when we go live. We do have a. Is it time to announce our prize winner? We have a prize winner, and that's the winner of our social media meal box giveaway competition, and that goes to Giselle Andrea Johannes. Well done, well done. I'm hoping you're joining us and cooking along. That's fantastic. Don't go anywhere. We are still setting up. So Liam, a little just before we get into the actual cooking, we now sit with level 4 revisited.
Yeah.
You've had to close all of your restaurants because this business of the government. Oh, you can do takeaways. It's a broad sway thing to say, but certain restaurants, the food that they do, yours in particular, there's attention to detail. It's about the plates. It's about the presentation. Just does not lend itself to takeaways.
I mean, the dish we're going to cook tonight. Can you imagine you order that and it arrives at your house an hour later?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. It's just we're not geared for Pete. It's not what we do. There's lots of restaurants in Cape Town that's their business, takeaway.
Yeah.
And it's not our business. That's not what, we've built restaurants to have 50 guests or 80 guests or 100 guests.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. We haven't built these restaurants to serve takeaway.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And everyone says, and I love it that the locals will support us, and we've tried it.
Yeah.
And locals do support us.
Yeah.
But in the big grand scheme of things, we can't make money out of it.
And it's not what you do. It's not what you do. It isn't the core of the experience. And you're right. And this is the great thing. And Cape Townians have stepped up to the plate in the last couple of years. So we love you for it.
Yeah.
They have ordered from restaurants and they have been supportive.
And please continue to do it because
where you can.
Seriously. Yeah. I mean, the local community in Cape Town has been since 15 months ago, have been amazing.
Yeah.
And they've stood up every time. And when we've reopened and closed and reopened and closed, and when we did Job Saves Lives, we had our customers on the street with us.
Yeah.
Cape Townians love to eat, and they love to support local, and they're fabulous people. They're unbelievable. I've never built my business around tourism.
Yeah.
Tourism,
it's always been about the local.
Tourism is a part of our business. It's a huge part of our business, but we've always looked after locals, and we've always priced our businesses so locals can experience it, and it's been incredible. It's been incredible.
Look, I think that's what a lot of people don't understand about. Everyone says, "Oh, you just aim to the tourists in Cape Town." Or a bonus. They like the cream on the top. It's like now. It's June, July, August. That we rely on Cape Townians to support our restaurants.
100%.
That's always been the case.
Look, tourism is amazing. I mean, we've got tourists who come to us year after year after year, who've become friends. Who, when I go overseas, I visit them in their homes, which is incredible. Or they take me to their favorite restaurant in Amsterdam or in Hamburg or wherever we go and travel. So it's incredible. But you know, we opened that business local, and it's all, for me now, it's all about supporting local. It's buying local, it's using local furniture, local crockery, local product.
But tell us a little bit more about local, because that space that was in Heritage Square that you've repurposed, and it's more than, because you've got the fantastic Mazza, the little kind of Lebanese kind of vibe, but downstairs for me is what's changed. It's not a restaurant, it's almost like a market space. Tell us a little bit about more.
Yeah, the idea was, like, when COVID came about, obviously that was a main tenant in that building, and they moved out. And Victoria, who's my business partner, and she's a landlord as well, phoned me and said, what are we going to do? What should I do with this space? And I said to her, Victoria, whatever you do, don't open another restaurant. Take time, they don't need it. And now, you know, a year later, here we are with 3 more restaurants. But it was all about, you know, our restaurants, we dictate how much you spend. You go for tapas for 2 at Beau, or at Tinswalla, or Maison, or whatever, or Tali, wherever it is. Whereas this place I wanted to recreate was, there was people struggling who'd reduced salaries, lost jobs, whatever it was, but they still want to feel dressed up, go out, big night out, but spend 200, 300, or drop a grand, whatever you want. But we're not going to dictate anymore
what you spend.
So you can come have a glass of wine, half dozen oysters, and go home, but you've still had a night out in a cool space. And that's what local was all about.
And also you've got almost like a little marketplace where you've got some fantastic local suppliers that probably also would have an outlet. You've got that big. It's got a substantial deli section there of a lot of local producers,
all local,
very artisanal, kind of olive oils and cheeses and charcuterie and all sorts of very, very cool stuff.
You know, it'll evolve when we come out of this pandemic, because we will come out of it. And I feel I do feel we're coming out of it slowly. We will come out of it. It has to end. Somewhere we just all have to get used to it and live with it. And that business will evolve. Because we'll be able to expand it more when there's more customers, when tourism comes back, when locals get back to 100% salaries and all of that. That will evolve, I think, into an amazing space. And we're not going to change it. I'm not going to put the prices up on sale.
I think that's the genius of it, is that it's a precursor to the world come. People's way people eat has changed, and they're about ingredients, about a lot of cooking, and I think that local is a concept that is here to stay. Right, folks, we're about ready to get cracking. Don't go anywhere. And when we come back, we're going to get cracking with the actual cooking, the reason you are here. And don't forget, we will be live on DST television. So behave yourselves. Okay, right, tonight.
Since the mussels are grown on ropes, they are free of sand and grit. Water and mussel samples are continuously tested to ensure that the meat is of the highest quality. They get cleaned and packaged in a world-class facility by our dedicated team of over 200 local community members. This intricate process guarantees that only the finest frozen and fresh mussels are delivered to the market at all times. Our rope-grown mussels are not only one of the most sustainable foods in the world, they are also packed with vitamins, nutrients, and high-quality protein. This system, inspired by nature itself, continues to deliver harvest after harvest without any disturbance to the surrounding ecosystem. At Blue Ocean Mussels, we take the minimum and return the rest for Mother Nature to nurture further. It relies only on the relationship between the ocean and the rope. Blue Ocean Mussels, prepared by nature.
Liberty Select heavy-duty foil is all you need, from cooking your paella and covering your dishes to baking potatoes on the braai. Trust Liberty Select to bring out your inner chef. Maggi Professional's newly launched creamy garlic herb and salad dressing brings all the flavors you know and love together with a twist. Use it as a condiment, dressing, dipping sauce, or even as a marinade. Lactalis South Africa's premium cheeses continue to win awards annually, and they've kindly supplied a selection of their finest cheeses such as Woolworths Gouda and President Mature Cheddar for you to snack on. Wild Peacock is a versatile distributor of quality goods to both the restaurant and retail sectors. They have kindly supplied us with their premium Blue Ocean mussels, as well as Almeida Bomba Paella rice and Almeida smoked paprika. Serena offers a wide range of products to transform your home-cooked meal into a culinary masterpiece. The Serena Extra Virgin Olive Oil not only brings authentic Mediterranean flavor to your table, but it is also one of the healthiest oils and rich in antioxidants.
Nature's patterns and structures have developed over millions of years, resulting in an ingenious system that sustains a myriad of wildlife. By looking to nature, we as humans can find organic solutions to some of our toughest challenges. An hour's drive from Cape Town, where the Atlantic and Indian Oceans meet, lies the west coast town of Saldanha. The pristine waters of this natural bay, coupled with the icy, nutrient-rich Benguela Current, make for perfect conditions to farm black mussels. Since 1987, we at Blue Ocean Mussels have been using our unique deep water site and its unpolluted waters to produce one of the most sustainable and delicious foods in the world, our mussels.
Welcome, folks, to season 2 of the live. Hi. And welcome to the first episode, the first episode of the Live Cook channel, our first episode on season 2, but it's our first time here with you on the People's Weather channel, where you get to cook alongside some of the top chefs in South Africa. I'm Pete Goffe-Wood, your host, and I'm going to be taking you through a fantastic dish tonight where we have previously cooked alongside exclusively with some of the top chefs in the country. In season 1, we had the pleasure of cooking with the likes of Chef Benny Massakwameng, my partner in crime from Braaimaster and from MasterChef. And we've cooked with Luke Dale Roberts, we've cooked with Bertus Besson, we've cooked with some of the top chefs, Frank D'Angelo, you name it. We've cooked with them on our Live Cook channel in season 1, and we're bringing them and more to you on the People's channel. We're going to have some great fun tonight, and tonight's chef is one of the most respected chefs in the country. His restaurant group has proved their mettle in all manner of things, not only in restaurant awards, but on bums on seats, reviews, you name it. The caliber of what do is second to none, and I have the great pleasure of standing in this magnificent kitchen with none other than Chef Liam Tomlin. Liam, welcome, man. Great. Thank you for letting us in your kitchen. Here. Great to see you here tonight.
Yeah, I only made season 2.
Yeah, I know. Well, we were saving
all these great chefs were in season 1. I cracked season 2.
No, we're saving the best. Okay. We're saving the best. We're saving the best for our live television performance. Great, Liam. So, for those of you cooking for the first time, this is how Live Cook works. You can join us for the next session in a month's time. All you have to do is book your box of ingredients. Daily Dish will deliver these fantastic ingredients we're going to cook with to your doorstep on the afternoon. The appointed hour, 6 o'clock, you will join us live on the People's Weather channel, and you will cook along with myself, presenter, and someone the likes of which the caliber of Liam Tom. Obviously, it's going to go downhill from here because we've had the best in episode 1, but we will try. We will try to keep you entertained with chefs of a suitable caliber.
It just goes down.
Yeah, it just goes down. So, Liam, what are you cooking tonight? I see these great ingredients. What are we cooking?
We're doing a paella. I just want to say to your guests, like, don't take it too serious. I think, as you said to us, it's just a bit of fun.
Yes.
You know, the recipe we've given you is a recipe. It's not stamped in. You know, it's not. You might want more chorizo or not chorizo, or more chili or less paprika, whatever. This is just it's fun.
Cool. Well, let's just enjoy it. So let's talking of ingredients. Let's go through what those of you lucky enough to cooking alongside us tonight, what they would have got in their boxes.
Yeah.
So we've got here in the front we've got some onions, some garlic. We've got some this beautiful saffron.
Yeah, I brought a bit more. This is actually 2 grams of saffron.
Yeah.
So what you got in your packet is tiny amount. I brought you. I mean, this is the most expensive spice in the world. I think it's more expensive than gold.
Oh, it is by
weight. But just to show you, this is 2 grams of saffron. Again, you might want a bit more as a chef. We're always a little.
No, we'll be handy with the saffron because we can.
But I just wanted to show you that. Like,
yes, I mean,
that's 2 grams.
Yeah. So those of you cooking alongside, you didn't get this because obviously your box would have cost about 3,000 rand.
Yeah.
If you had this much saffron.
Yeah.
So we've got some chorizo here, some fabulous chorizo. I take this
in Spain, some Spanish chefs will say you don't put chorizo into paella because it overpowers the saffron. I sort of disagree. Not disagree. I just love chorizo in any form, in any dish. It's one of my favorite ingredients, so I always include it. But if you don't want chorizo for whatever reason, that's also fine.
But I think also, sorry to interrupt you, Liam, I mean, the thing with paella is that it's one of those regional dishes where there is many recipes. You know, every region has their own version. Yeah. But I did some traveling in Spain once before. What always amazed me is that every region has their own version of it.
Yeah.
Some have rabbit. Some as you go inland, there's no seafood in it whatsoever.
No,
and what always amazed me about the Spanish is that every region dishes the other region's paella. Everyone else's, as far as they're concerned, everyone else's region's paella is not up to scratch and it's not really paella. They always go, all the guys from Catala, all the guys from Andalusia. They always diss everyone else's.
But most Spanish don't even look at it as their national dish.
No.
Because originally it came from Valencia, I think. And most people don't look at it as their national dish. But for me, the minute I think of Spain, I think of a paella.
Right. Okay. So behind us here, we have a look at. We've also got the rest of our ingredients. We've got some beautiful prawns here, which we've deveined and cleaned. We've got these magnificent blue ocean mussels. We've got a little bit of chicken leg that we're using here.
Chicken thigh.
Then chicken thigh. We've got some of our Meadowland cream. We've got some extra virgin olive oil. We've got this fantastic rice. We've got our thyme, garlic. We've got lemon, we've got peas, we've got some beautiful fresh herbs, and we have this magnificent, this smoked paprika it adds that lovely smokiness. So we have all of these ingredients that we're going to get stuck into. Once we've done with the ingredients in our cooking of paella, we've also got some fantastic cheese that we've got from both President and Woolworths. So if you fancy a little cheese platter after this, we're going to tuck into that. But before we go any further, But before we go any further, we're going to do a little crossing. Someone else is cooking alongside us tonight. He's no stranger to the People's Weather channel. We're going to cross directly live to his kitchen in France, where he's ready to rock and roll and cook alongside us. Leon Klucher, who is a world-renowned modern contemporary landscaper, all sorts of garden designs. You know him well on this channel, and he is, for once, not gardening, not telling us about all the fabulous indigenous flora in the Western Cape. He's actually doing a bit of cooking tonight. Leon, how are you doing?
Hi Pete, hi Liam. No, I'm great. I'm usually not that nervous when I go into the mountains and in the gardens, but tonight I've got a little bit of nervousness that's around me, but I've got my tools and I've got my herbs, so I'm going to follow the lead of the masters, so I'm ready for the paella.
No, fantastic, dude. Fantastic. I'm glad you're cooking alongside us, and we're going to be checking in with Leon as we go. Those of you who know Leon, he's got his bits and pieces. We're going to look at. So we're going to be. Sorry, we'll say that again. We'll be checking in on Leon and keep up with his progress, and we'll be able to make sure that he stays with us and cooks the paella dish. You will be able to see Leon's plant safari on this channel in August, so keep a lookout for that. Liam, I don't know about anything else. I am starving. We've got some fantastic ingredients here. I think it's time to get stuck in. Liam?
I want to talk to Leon about my dead herbs out in the back and see what I'm doing wrong. If I'm going to give him tips, he's going to give me
Okay, Leon, if you're listening to us, Liam, when we cross over, Liam is going to need some tips on why his herbs keep dying in his back garden. But we'll talk to you a little bit later about that. Right, Liam, let's get cracking. Let's get on to some paella.
Okay, we're going to start with the mussels, Pete. Okay? So normally we would use fresh live mussels, but because of obviously distribution around the city, hygienic reasons, etc., we're using these mussels, which are perfectly good, but they have been pre-cooked. You can see they're all open. They're lovely, plump, orange, meaty, juicy mussels. But I still want to get a little bit of that flavor into the paella before I start cooking it. So I'm going to just take a pot, and don't be, I mean, I've got fancy Larry pots because I'm a chef.
Yeah.
So
with fancy Larry pots. We're talking state-of-the-art copper pots here, but
no, but I mean, it's like anything, you know. A knife, you know, buy 1-2 great knives and they'll last you for life. Buy 1-2 great pots, they'll last you for life.
No, that's very true.
Buy 1 great grill, it'll last you for life. I really believe in that.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. You build a foundation. But the beauty of these pots, if you look after them, they will last you an entire lifetime. No, without a doubt.
Some of these pots are like 25 years old, and they just get cleaned every time I use them. So, as I said before, I'm going to put a little bit of white wine in. Like I said, I use wine. I treat wine as an ingredient. I'm going to probably go off charts a little bit. I've just taken a little bit of the thyme that we've got. I'm just going to break a tiny little bit of thyme into there. I've got 1 clove of garlic here. I'm just going to crush it on the back of a knife.
Cool.
Hopefully you can see that on the camera. Earlier on, I picked the parsley that we're going to chop a little bit later to finish it. So I kept the stalks.
Stalks are where all the flavour is. Everyone kind of picks those leaves and then they throw away the stalks. Stalks is where the action is.
As a chef, we keep everything. We don't throw anything away. And then I'm just going to crack some freshly ground pepper, bit of what? Oh, maybe take a base. This is live TV, huh? So take the base off your pepper mill. Freshly cracked white pepper. I won't put any salt in because the mussel is obviously salty enough. If you wanted, you could take 1 or 2 little strands of your saffron.
Yes.
Let's get that in there. So what I'm trying to do is build flavor into the dish even before we start, okay?
Of course.
And then I'm going to just take a tiny bit of our chicken stock.
So now this is so let's just refer to the stock quickly.
Yeah.
Under normal circumstances, those of you who got your ingredients in your basket will have had a stock sachet reconstitute. But like most chefs in restaurants, you prefer to start and make your own stock.
I will always make my own stock.
Yeah.
Always.
But we don't have the luxury of that when you're cooking like we are. But
I mean, this is probably the simplest of stocks
Yeah.
to make, and it's the most versatile of stocks to have. And basically, it's just raw carcasses of chicken, or you could use the drumsticks or the wings or whatever. It's put it in, cover it with water, but just cover it. Don't drown it in water, otherwise you're going to end up with water. Basic white mirepoix, bit of celery, bit of onion, garlic, some fresh thyme, bay leaf, a little bit of leek, white leek. Cook it 45, 50 minutes, skim it, reduce it a little bit, get a nice concentrated flavor, a little bit of salt into it. Pass it off, make it in quantities, 4 or 5 liters, and then freeze it. And then
I always say to people,
but I mean, I've just taken that little bit of stock, bit of white wine, 1 or 2 threads of saffron, and turned it into. You smell it.
Wow, it's gorgeous. I always say to people, when you make roast chicken, all those bones are left over. That's the basis for a great chicken stock.
Absolutely. I mean, if you wanted, you could put. We've got a whole orange, so let's use it. So even now, we're already changing the flavour of that stock by just putting a bit of orange.
Apart from my glasses, that is fantastic. That is really cool.
So the mussels, like I said, these things have been
cooked. They've been steamed already,
but that's fine. You just want to get a little bit of that mussel flavour.
Yeah, that saltiness, that saline. Because for me, that mussel stock is so distinct. It's such a beautiful, rich flavour. Yeah.
So I'm just going to pop a lid on these. If I was cooking these now, Pete, they would be in here for 4 or 5 minutes.
And you're just waiting for them to open up.
I'm waiting them just to open. But you don't want them to cook too long where they become rubbery.
Yeah.
You just want them to start to open, they say, nice and moist and plump.
Because they're still going to steam a little bit in the paella, so they're going to cook again as well. So you don't want to overcook them. Yeah.
So then what we want to do is I've got a bowl with a colander. Then when I take the mussels out, I'm just going to cover them with a damp cloth, which will keep them moist and trap the steam in there. So if we were cooking them, we'd continue to cook them. So I'm just going to dampen this with cold water. It's one of my wife's serviettes. She's going to love me.
She's going to go mad when she gets back.
Absolutely. So yeah, let's take them out, otherwise they will overcook. But normally, as I said, we're going to use. I'm just going to pop them in there, okay?
For those of you, unfortunately, we don't have the fortunate, we don't have smell-o-vision. But the smell of those mussels, that orange, the thyme, the garlic, the saffron, you're really getting this salty, gorgeous seafood kind of smell to it. It really is quite beautiful. So now, we've got our paella pan on the heat.
What I'm going to do though is that I'm just going to pop.
Oh, we're going to put. You see. Now this is the trick. This is the little chef tricks that people don't realize. That mussel stock has gone into our chicken stock. That's just going to give an added richness to the whole paella.
Just going to add a bit more flavour.
Yeah.
Okay. So the pan is the pan and the heat are 2 very important things for this dish.
Yeah.
So the pan, you don't have to have a paella pan.
It's just a normal, a big flat frying pan with a nice cast iron.
With a nice thick base. So
are the cast iron nice heavy stainless steel? Yeah.
As long as it's a thick base and it's going to evenly cook, that the heat is going to be distributed evenly.
Yeah.
And then, so you don't have raw rice.
Yeah.
And
you also don't want to do it to the rice is cooked. Almost like an even layer that it even. Fantastic.
If you're working on a smaller, obviously I've got heat now that's generating through the whole pan. If you're on which probably most people who are cooking tonight are going to be on a 1 gas ring, is to put the pan in the center and then just move it. During the 15, 18 minutes we're going to cook this dish, just keep moving it so it does get evenly cooked, okay? So we're going to start with some olive oil.
Cool.
Not too much, not too little.
Yeah.
So that goes in. And then I want to start with the chorizo.
Fantastic.
So this is a raw chorizo. So some chorizos you get are cooked. This one is raw. So what I want to do is just, I want to slowly cook it a little bit just to get all the flavor out of it, and you'll see.
Because it's got that lovely fat from the chorizo, and you want to fry the rest of the ingredients in that chorizo fat.
Yeah.
Just
but I don't want to dry it out
complexity
either.
Yeah.
But you'll see the oil will change color with the chili that's gone into this and the paprika that's gone into this sausage.
Yeah.
You're going to see it's going to change the color of the oil, and that is just going to add
more
beautiful
complexity.
flavor.
Yeah, then all that is going to permeate the rice, and
Yeah.
it's just going to give it a fantastic.
So we just start. The thing with this is not to rush it. Take your time. You know, I know we're under, you're going to have to push me along.
No, that's cool.
I'm going slow. But the thing is, to cook, you need time.
Yeah.
I worked with the Roux brothers years and years ago, and they used to tell me you could not cook good food in 8 hours. And that was their way of getting us to work 16 hours and pay us for 8. And it's true though, you cannot rush.
No, you can't.
You know, this is a dish.
Good food takes time.
For me, this is a Sunday lunch with friends around the table.
Yeah.
It's not something I'm going to dash home from work and cook.
No, you don't.
This is something you want to share.
Yeah.
With
No,
lots of
it is
people.
one of those family style dishes.
Absolutely,
that's for sure.
100%. And it's completely ingredient driven.
So for us, one of those things that seasonality, but the beauty of paella is that it's a dish for all seasons.
Yeah.
You know, you can change, as we've mentioned before, different regions in Spain have different ingredients. So it can be quite a meaty, hearty dish, or it could be quite light and seafoody. And so it certainly lends itself to a dish for all seasons.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely, it's not a winter dish as such. It's not a summer dish.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, it's also the kind of thing that you'd adapt. If we were having this on a summer's afternoon, we'd be drinking a lichter style of white wine.
Drinking a rosé.
Yeah, we'd be drinking a rosé.
Or a beautiful
Whereas tonight-
Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah. Whereas tonight it's cold outside, it's winter, it's hearty. We're going to be tucking in some red wine later, and I think it's a dish for all seasons, without a doubt.
A perfect Pinot Noir is fantastic with this. Yeah, I don't think you want a big heavy wine.
No.
But rosé is perfect with this. A lovely Sauvignon Blanc, a Chenin Blanc, and we're spoiled here.
No, we are indeed.
so spoiled.
Right, let's cross to Leon. Leon, how are you doing, dude?
Oh, it's going okay.
Leon seems to be getting stuck into his kitchen.
What's
happening, Leon? Are you?
Well, this is my chorizo and all of those
Cool.
thingies.
That's
cooking
good.
nicely. And this is my chicken stock. My stock. So I think I'm there. It tastes delicious.
Oh, great.
Tastes nice.
Well, look, the beauty of this, it's unlike car mechanics. If there are any ingredients left over at the end of the cook that you haven't used, don't sweat it. You know what I mean? This is one of those beautiful dishes that is a composite of its parts, and no one's gonna worry if there's a little bit left over. It's not like a bolt or a part, and it's not going to work. This is cooking. It's not rocket science.
Okay.
Okay, so here we
So
go.
we got a bit of color in here.
Yep.
I'm going to add onions and garlic.
Okay, so we've got our chorizo in the pan. We're releasing all those gorgeous oils and those fragrances in our chorizo, and now we've added our finely diced onions and garlic. This is the foundation, building the kind of foundation of our flavor.
And you want to make sure you're cleaning the pan down all the time so everything gets evenly cooked.
Yeah. The smell of this it's one of those things, just that frying onions and garlic compound chorizo. I mean, you could just eat spoonfuls of that without even completing the dish.
Absolutely. Should we just go home, Pete?
Yeah.
So I'm going to sweat this down for maybe 2-3 minutes. I don't want to get color on this. At the end of the dish, we want to get what they call sockerat,
Yes.
which is that thin
That crust on the bottom,
at the
yeah.
end. So,
And I think that's what people understand. The subtle difference between rice dishes have different mechanisms. Risotto is something that's constantly stirred, whereas this is something you don't actually stir. You shake it. You want it to stick to the bottom of the pan, whereas risotto you don't. This you actually want to have that pan contact. That you actually have that. If you think about cooking pup, and you have that skin that sits on the bottom of and that crispy, tasty. That's what you want at the bottom of your risotto. That's exactly what you're after. It almost seals on the bottom, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You can see already.
Yeah.
I mean, there's tiny little bits of colour coming into the base of the pan.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't want in a risotto.
No,
but
no,
in
certainly
here,
not. Yeah.
I'm not panicking. Okay. Okay, so I think, you know, the onion and the garlic, the chorizo, all the flavors are combining.
Yeah.
The onions, garlic are translucent. So now we're going to go with a little bit of. So this is just dried chili.
Yeah.
Unlike Asian food, we're not putting fresh raw chili
sure.
in.
We want a more subtle kind of zing to it rather than an in-your-face burn. Huh?
And again, you know, as much as what I said in the beginning, it's a recipe. It's not cast in stone.
Yeah.
Some people like lots more chili. Some don't want chili, and that's also fine. But I love chili.
I'm a big fan.
You
no.
like it?
I'm an addict.
And
Hi,
then
my name's Pete. I'm a chili addict.
then we got some
So what have we got in there? It's
the dried oregano.
Dorian oregano, beautiful, lovely, huh?
I mean, you could put some fresh in if you wanted. And I mean, at this stage, if you wanted to put.
And so we're frying off the dried spices so that they permeate the rest of the dish and release themselves into those gorgeous ingredients that are in there
You
already.
could put a little bit of fresh thyme in there.
Yeah.
We've got the paprika. So this is, like you said, the smoked paprika.
Yeah.
If you think the pan's getting a little bit dry, now you start getting smell.
Yeah.
Okay, so there we put the paprika. I'm just going to put a tiny bit more oil in. So you just judge the pan, huh?
Yeah. I mean, that oil is just helping to distribute those flavors.
Absolutely.
It's a great vehicle. So if you're looking a little dry, just a little glug more of olive oil just to help to moisten it. Yes, look at that. Look at that color. Man alive, that looks good.
Okay, so we're going to cook
Okay.
all of that. Keep it moving because you don't want it to
Yeah.
obviously burn. If it's getting too hot, pull it aside until we get the stock in there. Then we'll have more control over the pan.
Okay.
But bring everything down from the sides so it all gets evenly coated in the spices, the herbs, the chorizo, the oil. So everything is evenly cooked, okay?
Fantastic.
Now this is already smelling like España. Okay, have I put everything in? Oh,
Okay, now a good pinch of our
okay. So
fabulous-
put all the saffron that you got. I'm being a bit generous because I'm actually cooking a lot more.
Yeah, and also you've got a lot more than everyone got in
and
their
there's,
basket.
and there's a whole camera crew here
Yeah.
who said they want to eat. So I'm not going to cook that for too long.
Yeah.
And then the next thing
Is our rice. Okay,
rice.
fantastic.
So the rice, we use what they call bomba rice, Pete.
But it's like a short grain.
It is short grain.
Yeah, it's a short grain rice, huh?
Short grain, and it's very short.
It's almost the same. It's the same kind of rice as risotto. It's not
Yeah.
the same. It's not
You-
the arborio,
you
but
could use
arborio is
it.
also a short grain rice, huh?
You could use arborio,
Yeah.
but the arborio is a lot more starchy.
Yeah.
And that's where you get that creaminess from a
Yeah.
Spanish risotto. But the common thing between arborio rice and bomba rice is that they absorb about 2.5 to 3 times the volume of liquid.
I mean, I've always noted that because people say, oh, you know, I'm making risotto, and I'm saying, okay, well, a cup of risotto rice is going to make enough risotto for 6 people. Don't think of rice when you think of when you're making sort of long grain rice, and you're thinking of how much rice you would do there. The amount of liquid this absorbs.
Yeah.
So if you were, for example, if you were to make basmati rice, for example, you put 1 cup of basmati and 2 cups of water. This, you'd have 3 cups of liquid to the same amount of rice because it just sucks up so much
It absorbs
liquid.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the rice is all evenly coated. You can smell that paprika, the saffron, the chorizo, it's all coming through. And then I want to make it even, so it all evenly cooks.
Yeah.
So just play around with it. And then I'm going to add the sofrito.
Okay.
Let me get a cloth.
Now, sofrito is just for those of you watching to us live. Sofrito is this kind of base, and it's this beautiful, rich aromatic paste, and it's red and green peppers, tomatoes, and it's cooked down to this lovely thick paste, and it's almost like this. It's like a stock injection.
Yeah.
It's like this. It's almost like a massive bolt of peppery, tomatoey goodness.
It's one of the base sauces, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, and you find it in South American cuisine, Mexican
Yeah,
cuisine.
but it's also the kind of thing that you'd cook and keep a jar of it in your fridge.
Yeah, won't
and
go
every
off.
time you made a sauce or a dish,
Yeah.
you'd throw a spoonful of it in just to bring the dish to
I mean,
life.
they put it in scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
They whisk it into eggs and turn it into scrambled eggs. They use it as, it pretty much goes into everything.
Too much everything.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you cook it and boom, there's nothing it can't be added to.
But it's-
you can imagine that to scrambled eggs.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely. And scrambled eggs is
Yeah.
delicious. Okay, so now we've got rice, the sofrito, and then I'm just going, ooh, hot. Okay. Now I'm just going to add the stock.
Our chicken, okay, our stock's going in. So this now is our chicken stock with a little bit of that nice
mussel.
goodness that was.
Okay. So just move that.
Oh, this is looking so sexy and so like.
Am I missing anything? Okay, I still got to put orange in it.
So we need, I think, some orange goes in there. That's
Yeah.
according to the recipe. Just checking up what.
But
what
look at the color of this.
Oh,
Okay,
man alive.
this stove is
Oh, this is
very hot,
Okay.
and I can't turn it down. It's on its lowest setting.
Okay. Cool.
So
Oh, look at that, man alive! This is going to be so. I hope those of you cooking at home and following us, yours starting to look like this. Where we are at the moment, we've fried off our chorizo, our onions, our garlic. We've got saffron in there. We've got thyme, oregano, all of these lovely aromatic, and then we've added our sofrito. Now we're taking this off and putting on a smaller
Yeah,
flame because
too hot.
this magnificent stove of Liam's is just too good. This flat top is, I mean, it's hot. So we want a more gentle flame. We don't want this to be boiling away and bubbling furiously. We want it to have a gentle simmer. If it's bubbling too much, turn it down, because otherwise what will happen is the liquid will cook off too quickly and the rice will remain crunchy. You want a lovely little slow bubble you can see happening in the pan now. And then we're just adding a little bit of
I'm gonna
orange
add-
zest.
yeah.
Oh, look at that.
okay, a little bit orange. This is even still going too high, so I'm going to reduce the heat on that. And then now I want to add a little bit of seasoning.
Okay.
So some salt, and then again some. I just want to tighten
Black
this.
pepper, yeah, great.
Some freshly ground pepper. And if you honestly, you can smell this now.
Yeah.
It's pretty wicked.
Oh, it's what I'm smelling now is actually heavenly.
And then I'm just going to stir it one more time, okay? Just to get the salt, pepper through the whole dish.
Yeah.
I can feel. I'm very pleased with the color of this.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased with the smell, the aromas coming from this pan.
And also let's remember that traditional kind of yellowy vibe we get from the saffron, that's going to come out later as
see the
as
saffron.
that saffron leaches its color and its goodness. And saffron is not just about the color; it's also about that rich,
flavor.
gorgeous flavor. But also be very careful with it, because it's one of those. It's an expensive ingredient, but you need to use it judiciously anyway.
Yeah.
Because too much saffron has got quite a bitter flavour to it. And,
Very
you know,
bitter.
you're trying to don't try and impress your friends with the amount of saffron you can throw into something, because you can kill a dish with too much saffron. You have that bitterness that just overpowers everything.
So when we do this at the restaurant, so we can get 4, 5, 6 orders at once.
Yeah.
So then we'll start using the oven. So we can take this and pop it in an oven
Okay. Yeah.
at about 150, 160 maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we just pop it in the oven so we can start another one on the stove.
yeah,
because
sure.
we've only got so much stove space.
Yeah. Of course.
So it can also be done in the finished in the stove. Most important, like I say, the smell I love, the colors are fantastic, but at this stage, I want to taste it for seasoning. Have a taste. What do you think? I think. Oh, no double dipping, Pete.
Oh, there's a richness to that. I can taste the mussel. I can taste that mussel stock.
And we only put like a fraction. Probably. I can guarantee you now.
There's a little bit left.
There's a little bit more left. You can taste the mussels, and we haven't even put the mussels into the dish yet. So while
I can taste the orange, that orange, lovely lively orange, and there's that richness, and a little oomph from the meatiness of the chorizo, and I'm just getting that little tickle of chili. That's perfect. Oh man alive, that's lovely. That is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
So it's again. I'm going to turn it down slightly. I just want it to cook slowly. It takes about the same time as the risotto. 15, 18 minutes. But there's no stirring now.
Okay, cool.
So we just watch this. And then I'm just going to wipe the pan down. Makes no difference. I just do that because I do.
Okay, so now, Liam, I see. So I've just transferred this here. We've got the prawns, which obviously you're going to do. What's the treatment of the chicken?
I'm going to put a pan on now.
Okay, cool.
And I'm just going to sort of pan fry it.
Okay.
On the stove. Yeah.
Cool.
Going to pan fry on the stove. I mean, what I'm doing now is just me being
being Liam. Yes.
So there's no need to do this. It's just.
You just can't help yourself.
Yeah.
Don't worry about this. Don't try this at home, folks.
No difference to the dishes whatsoever. Just purely for my pleasure.
Liam's middle name begins with an A. We won't go further than that.
Yeah. It's not Anthony.
Okay, so paella's cooking. Now it's time to get on to the kind of the garnish almost. We've done the mussels, and now we have some prawns and some chicken that got to go.
We've got the mussels.
Mussels are done.
We're going to do the chicken here.
And I'm assuming
prawns we're just going to put.
The residual heat is enough to steam them.
Okay,
fantastic.
So we don't want to overcook them. So again, a little bit of olive oil. The chicken thigh that you've got. I took a little bit of the fat off them. Preferably, I would have loved them with the skin on it.
Okay, yes.
So if you can get the chicken thigh bone out, but bone in is also good because there's lots of flavor in the bone. But I actually love it with bone out. You can cut it up into smaller pieces if you want.
And also, from a time perspective, if you had the time, chicken on the bone would be preferable, but we don't have time for that in an hour's cooking.
But this is cooking nicely now. The bubbles. Like I say, now I've put it onto a different gas, and I'm just going to move it just to sort of evenly cook it. So we get nice, evenly cooked rice.
Fantastic.
If you had the skin, I would definitely keep it on because the nice, crisp skin gives another texture.
Oh, it's an answer. And for me, from chicken, that's where all the flavour is. That crispy skin is all the action.
So here again, season. So don't be shy. Again, a little bit of freshly ground pepper, and then I'm going to take a little bit of the paprika because we have it. Not in the recipe, but since we have it, it's just going to add more flavor to the finished dish. So a little bit of paprika. Turn it over. Do the same on the opposite side. I've got the oil in the pan.
Fantastic. Oh, let's get nice and lovely. Okay, so chicken in. So
how's everybody doing at home?
Yeah, look, I'm checking our
I'm concerned.
I'm checking our comment feed. As we've said, folks, always remember this is a live cook. So so we want you to send in your comments if you're not keeping abreast. Let us know. But usually by now people are sending us comments saying, where goes the garlic? Where's the this? Where's the that? The fact that we're not getting those comments means clearly everyone is following the process. Liam is very, very good in his detail, and so people should be kept. That is looking just magnificent.
This
it's going to be a damn
I'm
fine.
excited about this.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So
really
chicken in.
Yeah. I'm going to I want the pan. So I want to try
Is this
and
one still on?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh, is it? Good point, Pete. Good point.
I know because we transferred, so we may have turned it off. I'm not sure.
We can just do it
Let's
here.
put it on there. Probably a better idea.
That's why Pete gets paid the big bucks.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we've got about 15 minutes, which is all we need for our chicken to finish our pile. This is looking, you can see this, guys. This is really, and as you can see,
you're looking for these, you see these bubbles coming up now? These little air pockets, that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So you can see in the center, it's becoming dry.
Yeah.
If I had a bigger heat, it would be more even. But then we just watch it and we just move it a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's what we want, is these air pockets. And that's when that sauerkraut will start
to form on the.
So once all the moisture, all the stock.
So I've got my chicken cooking. It's looking neat. And my paella is simmering in the pan. I'm so excited. All the flavors are starting to come through my paella. So now I think we're going to start with prawns and things after. So I'm quite excited about that. But looking good. So when it comes to bibs for paella, we are using a lot of parsley. So parsley is part of the carrot family, and carrots are so beautiful in the garden, even if it's not used as a vegetable or herb. It's such nice flowers that attract bees, and here's one of the flowers. We'll pull it out here. This is a carrot flower. Isn't that beautiful? Part of the Ami family. So when you do parsley, sometimes it's a bit tricky to grow them. People think they plant them and they go down, but it's a biannual. So the first season it's green and lush, and that's when the flavor is the best. The second season it uses all that energy that's in the leaves and it transfers it to the flowers. It's now going to make seed, and that means that the leaves are going to get a little bit more tough, so it's not great for your food. So first season, but if you pull out your plant and the leaves are now a bit yellow, all the flavor is in the roots and in the stem, so you can still use the roots and the stem of your parsley in your food too. So I'm excited also to be in August. We're going to have plants. I'm going to climb all the mountains and look for fynbos, Western Cape. Some interesting proteas, orchids, carnivorous plants. That's plants that eat all the little insects. And we're going to explore some of the interesting stories that they have to tell. Stories that we don't often see just by looking at the plants. So I hope you tune in, and I hope you enjoy my forays and all the little intricacies that I tell you about them. So the plants come from, now I grew up in the Lowveld. The Lowveld's so green, all those big trees and the Kruger Park. How can you not And I was lucky enough to grow up in the botanical gardens, so I was surrounded by it. And it never left me. I was none of those boys that said, "No, I am in." I was going to look for trees and orchids and play with all the textures, colors that plants do, and make art with it. And that's been my life, and I enjoy it still every second. And I enjoy teaching people about gardening, about plants, what it gives us. It's not just food, it's not just pleasure in a garden, it's a combination of everything. It's the root inside your house. It's something that you connect with. It's an organism. And that's what makes gardening and the plants in our mountains so interesting. And it's something that I hope trigger that interest in of the viewers that watch plant safaris. I think my chicken's starting to really, hope it shouldn't crispy up too much.
Right, so we're back. Leon seems to be handling it, which is hugely impressive.
Yeah.
For a man who's a master gardener, landscape artist, who said at the beginning he was stressed a little bit about cooking. Well, he seems to be doing a fantastic job. Don't forget to look out for plant safaris later on in August. But Leon seems to be waxing this, so that's really, really cool. Where we are now, we've got our chicken in the pan. We are coming to the end stages. I did notice a comment from Lauren. She said, should we add more stock looking a little dry? The whole idea...
If it's too dry,
add
a little bit more.
Add a touch more, but again, give it a shake.
A little bit.
Don't stir it. What we want ultimately is for it to dry out. We want to cook all that stock, let it steam into the rice. This isn't a voluptuous, creamy dish like a risotto. We want it to cook so there's no more liquid in.
And you're going to get moisture from the prawn,
yes,
and the chicken, and the peas.
Have a little taste of the rice, and you'll see whether it's cooking. And if it's crunchy, add a little bit more stock. If it's starting to soften up, don't sweat it. We want it to dry out. So now look at this.
Nice golden brown.
Golden brown. Now you can imagine this is chicken skin.
Yeah.
Man alive.
So the whole idea is, you know, a lot of people put stuff in a pan and turn it and toss it and turn it and toss it.
Yeah.
We don't. I put it in, I cook it, I'll turn it, and that's it, no more. Same if it's fish.
In fact, you're probably going to cook it 3/4 on one side.
And then I'm going to put it in,
and
then I'm going to put it in here. Finish. So we're just going to, I'm going to just seal the other side, and I'm going to lightly season it one more time, because...
Yeah, brilliant.
Lightly seasoned.
Well, those of you cooking at home, we're getting to the end stages here.
Yeah.
Our rice, look at this. Our rice, the wafted smell coming off is unbelievable.
Yeah.
This is almost done. In fact, we're now going to put our chicken on and our steam our prawns. We're coming to the end stages here. So those of you cooking, this is where you should be at. That's what your paella should be looking like. Now here we go. Chicken, just don't mix it through. You just want to kind of
just
embed it. You're going to like
bury it
in, squeeze it down. Oh, look at that. Oh, fantastic.
Just bury it into it. And this, it's still a little bit pink.
Yeah. But that steam coming up the rice is going to finish it off.
Finish it.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take...
Can I get rid of this?
I'm going to just take the oil from it.
Ooh. There's nothing left to all of that flavour. Anything that... Yeah? And that's all that saltiness, that chicken. Now you can imagine what that would have been like if that was chicken. That had chicken skin on.
That had fat.
Oh man,
it's another layer of flavour.
Spectacular.
And I've never read that in a Spanish recipe, but that's, you know what I say.
No.
We cook like that.
We can improve as we go.
So now I'm going to put the prawns in.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm assuming one of the reasons you cut the prawns in half was not just to clean them, but also so they steam much faster.
Yeah, and again evenly, because this, I don't think this heat would go through a whole pan.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
And we leave the head, like I say. You know, some people will obviously suck the contents out, because there's like you said, there's a ton of flavour in there.
But I also think if you're squeamish about the prawn heads, cook them, take them out of the dish. You don't have to eat them, but the flavour they impart to a dish like this is second
incredible.
to none. It's where all that rich kind of that I don't know what the word is, that beautiful rich seafood flavour comes from all that gunge in the head. You know what I mean? You've got that lovely flesh from the tail that's rich and it's succulent and it's juicy, but that depth of flavour comes from the shell and from the head, and you want that imparted flavour into your paella.
I like the gunge, Peter. I like the gunge from the head.
Gunge is where the goodness is.
The gunge. Okay, I mean, I've got, okay, maybe shove one more in here, but we got,
Yeah.
they were
Don't forget, folks,
very
we're adding
generous.
the prawns last because we don't want them to overcook.
Yeah.
We don't want them to, we want them to just steam through so they're lightly cooked and we get that lovely fragrance from the prawn from the dish. We're not too stressed. At what stage do we put the peas in? Does that go in
I'll
right
add
at the
them
end?
in a few minutes.
Okay,
I'll add
cool.
the mussels and the peas.
Okay, fantastic.
And then I'm just going to cover it for, I don't know, a couple of minutes just to finish steaming it. I want to check the rice. Okay. I'm going to check it, make sure it's cooked on the outside. Okay, the rice on the outside is a little bit harder, but it's going to get there.
Cool.
It's going to get there. Shall we move it along a bit?
Oh, I think so. I think we're ready to finish it off. I think it's looking.
So we just pop
Yep.
the mussels in. Obviously,
Cool.
in this dish, just the more you add,
Yeah.
the nicer it begins to look.
Yes. For me, paella is the kind of dish that you need to put the pan on the table. This is not the
No,
kind
no,
of
you
dish
don't serve this in a
that
bowl.
You plate up for
No.
people, and this goes on the table and everyone tucks in, because the sexiness of this dish is how it's looking at the moment.
100%.
Yeah. I'm gonna grab the foil.
I just want to put the peas in, Pete, and then I'm even leaving in like the garlic and the parsley and all of the bits. There's a bit of orange here, chuck that in. These mussels are good. Like I said, if you can get fresh, it's better. Fresh is always obviously better. But also we've got to work with what we've got.
Damn. I don't know about you guys at home. I don't know what your paella is looking like. Leon's is looking pretty sexy from what I can see on the monitor. But I am looking forward to tucking into this.
All the last bits of juice in the bowl.
Cool. Okay.
And then the peas, if I can.
Peas, there we go. There we go. A little bit of greenery, a little bit of crunch.
And then I didn't blanch these. It said in the recipe, but I just left them in the fridge
Yeah.
as I got them. And then all I'm going to do,
Yep.
Pete, is just take one last, just to season
Yeah.
the mussels and the prawn that we've just put in. And a little crack of this. And I've got left in my bowl here a little bit of fresh thyme, which will add another last punch of thyme, and then we're just going to cover it.
There we go. A little bit of foil.
And I'm going to leave, I think I said turn the heat off and leave it, but I'm going to
Yeah.
leave it for
couple-
2 minutes, yeah, because
And the beauty of now with the covering the foil is so all that steam is trapped in, and it's just gonna.
and it's hot, that.
The clock. and all that steam is now trapped in the pan under the foil. That's gonna warm the mussels up, and it's also going to finish off the chicken as well as the prawns.
Yeah.
Fantastic, folks. Well, men alive, this has been an eye-opener. What a fantastic cook. For those of you who thought paella is a daunting dish, here we've done it before your very eyes in less than an hour. But remember, of course, it doesn't exist if it's not on Instagram. So, as always, with our live cook, we have fabulous prizes for those of you who enter your completed paella dish into our Instagram program. Remember, at Live Cook channel, and we want to see those content. Don't just put your pictures of your pilot. Send us some photos of you and the family and friends cooking. We really want this to be interactive. The more photos that we can see, the more fun that you guys have been having, the better it is for us. But remember, at Live Cook channel, hashtag Live Cook channel. Please post your paellas. You know that we have a amazing recipe. Leon, I'm seeing from what I can see, you've got your foil on. How's your paella looking, dude?
Ooh, it's looking incredible.
Wow.
Wow, check out that steam. That is looking.
Look at all that.
It's looking amazing, dude.
Well done.
I think mine's looking better than Liam.
Okay, you need to come around and fix my garden, Pete.
Yes, well, it certainly seems to be doing the business. I love what you're doing. So we're going to finish ours with the chopped parsley right at the end. We're about to unveil ours and let it steam. And so that steaming is just happening now. Leon is ahead of us now. He's already steaming his, which is really, really cool. For a man who was a little daunted about cooking, he seems to be launching straight into it and doing a fantastic job. And I have to say, Leon, I'm super impressed. I can see your kitchen. And for a man who doesn't do a lot of cooking, you haven't trashed the place. Your place looks fairly ordered. It looks like this is not the first time you've cooked. So thanks for cooking along with us. It's looking really good. I'm very, very keen to see it. No, that's pretty standard. That's pretty good. Most people's places look like man, look at that. That is super paella. It looks like the real McCoy. That's the Vardy Jacob, man. Look at that. Liam, check out.
No, I've seen it.
I'm a proud guy.
Oh wow, well done.
That looks pretty
proud.
good.
That's brilliant. I've got friends in French. I've given you a phone number. Get them to come around.
Yeah, we're going to phone some friends in France.
Dave and all the lads up there.
Head round to Leon's for a bit of paella because he's got enough there for 5 or 6 people. So head round to Leon's place. He really has got some serious business going on there. Right, Leon, how are we doing here? You've got some
just chopping parsley. I've taken a little bit of the orange that was left, Pete.
Okay, yeah.
I've taken a little bit of lemon. And I'll just show you.
Man alive. Oh,
I mean, those prawns are cooked.
Oh, those prawns are cooked, huh? I mean,
cooked perfectly.
Again, the benefit of smell-o-vision. Oh.
And then I'm just going to finish.
Okay.
Just a tiny. It's not in the recipe. Just thought of it.
No, that's it. I mean, this is it. We've got a little bit of the orange left over from the zest, and so we're just giving that a little bit of a squeeze to finish the dish off.
A little bit of fresh lemon. And then some freshly chopped flat leaf parsley.
Yeah.
And there we go.
There we go.
And that's a lot of fun. I enjoyed that.
Look, I think that is fantastic. I mean, paella from scratch in 45, 50 minutes. I think that for me is quite something. For those of you who want to do this again, those of you who've been with us now, our live cook. We have to come up with a name for our live cook alumni who've been cooking with us for a year now. Since lockdown started, this has been a great thing. We have, for those of you joining us this evening for the first time on the previous one, if you want to join us next month, you can do on DSTV, but it's a damn sight more fun if you cook alongside with us. To do that, go to Quicket, where you can book your book to cook, and you can join us next month. We have another fantastic cook in the kitchen. We have we have a great mate of mine, and also a MasterChef winner in season 2, Carmely Paper. She, who is her own magnificent cook, a couple of a series, Girl Eats World, you will have seen her on DSTV, but a fantastic cook, a great storyteller, and I look forward to joining her in her kitchen where we're going to cook alongside Carmely. But But we are going to, before we exit, I'd just like to say to Liam, before I say goodbye to you and a little thank you for this, Liam, it has been fantastic cooking with you. It's been an absolute blast.
Pleasure, my
Thank
friend.
you.
Pleasure.
And I'm going to tuck into that. Normally I cook, I do this remotely, and I'm cooking, I'm sitting in my lounge while the chef is cooking, so for the first time now in season 2 I get to eat the food. But before we say goodbye, I'd like to say thanks to a couple of our sponsors, Meadowland, Westgrow, Nestle Professional, Heartleaf, Wild Peacock, Bounty Foods, which is Liberty Foods and Serena Foods, Parmalat, and thank you for your support. Thank you for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed this cook-along. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, may the sauce be with you. And good night.
And support local.
And don't forget, support local. Don't forget what we said. If you have the wherewithal to get down to your local restaurant, whether you're just going to stop in and buy a cup of coffee, toasted sandwich, or you're going to something a little bit more upmarket, whatever it is, if you can and have the wherewithal, support local restaurants.
Whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a winery, whether it's a furniture shop, whatever it is, just support local.
There's a whole myriad of people who those people you spend money with support their suppliers, their staff.
100%.
There's a trickle-down effect every time you buy something local. People in the Cape Townians, Joburg, Durban, wherever you are,
everywhere.
That money goes into the pockets of the people who need it.
Awesome.
So before we actually, I think it's time to actually have a little taste.
Please do.
A little taste of this. You guys are now going to talk amongst yourselves.
Go in the middle.
Liam and I are going to tuck into this.
Is there chocolate at the bottom?
I don't know about you guys. Oh man, I'm going to have a little mussel here.
Oh look, there's the crab.
Yeah. Look at that. So folks, we need to. This is important. This is important, folks. You'll see at the bottom here. This is not burnt. This is the crust that we're talking about. This is the taste of it. This is where. Look at that. All that little bit. That's the stuff. This is oh man alive. Oh.
This is what the Spanish will judge you on.
Oh.
It's good. I'm pleased.
Well, I don't know about you and how your paella turned out, but this is the duck's nuts. This is the business.
There's no swearing. You told me no swearing.
I was going to say the dog's bollocks. Well, folks, Liam, thank you again for letting us in the kitchen.
Pleasure.
Thank you for joining us. We will see you next time.
Yeah.
Good night.
Awesome.
Maggie Professional's newly launched creamy garlic herb and salad dressing brings all the flavors you know and love together with a twist. Use it as a condiment, dressing, dipping sauce, or even as a marinade. Lactalis South Africa's premium cheeses continue to win awards annually, and they've kindly supplied a selection of their finest cheeses, such as Woolworths Gouda and President Mature Cheddar, for you to snack on. Wild Peacock is a versatile distributor of quality goods to both the restaurant and retail sectors. They have kindly supplied us with their premium Blue Ocean mussels, as well as Almeida Bomba Paella rice and Almeida smoked paprika. Serena offers a wide range of products to transform your home-cooked meal into a culinary masterpiece. The Serena extra virgin olive oil not only brings authentic Mediterranean flavor to your table, but it is also one of the healthiest oils and rich in antioxidants. Namibian-born and German-inspired, Heartleaf Continental brings its flavorful chorizo to today's recipe, as well as some tasty landjager to snack on. For more information, visit heartleaf.co.za. Liberty Select heavy-duty foil is all you need, from cooking your paella and covering your dishes to baking potatoes on the braai. Trust Liberty Select to bring out your inner chef. Wild Peacock is a versatile distributor of quality goods to both the restaurant and retail sectors. They have kindly supplied us with their premium blue ocean mussels, as well as Almeida Bomba paella rice and Almeida smoked paprika.
Nature's patterns and structures have developed over millions of years, resulting in an ingenious system that sustains a myriad of wildlife. By looking to nature, we as humans can find organic solutions to some of our toughest challenges. An hour's drive from Cape Town, where the Atlantic and Indian Oceans meet, lies the west coast town of Saldanha. The pristine waters of this natural bay, coupled with the icy, nutrient-rich Benguela Current, make for perfect conditions to farm black mussels. Since 1987, we at Blue Ocean Mussels have been using our unique deep water site and its unpolluted waters to produce one of the most sustainable and delicious foods in the world, our mussels. The mussels are grown on long ropes which dangle freely from anchored rafts. Newly spawned mussels drift in the fertile water currents, naturally settling on these kelp-like tendrils. After 12 months underwater, the mussels are hauled from their depths. The sizey mussels are separated for the market, whilst the smaller mussels are returned to the ropes in a sustainable practice known as seeding. Here, they will grow for another 8 months until the harvest process repeats itself once more. Since the mussels are grown on ropes, they are free of sand and grit. Water and mussel samples are continuously tested to ensure that the meat is of the highest quality. They get cleaned and packaged in a world-class facility by our dedicated team of over 200 local community members. This intricate process guarantees that only the finest frozen and fresh mussels are delivered to the market at all times. Our rope-grown mussels are not only one of the most sustainable foods in the world, they are also packed with vitamins, nutrients, and high-quality protein. This system, inspired by nature itself, continues to deliver harvest after harvest without any disturbance to the surrounding ecosystem. At Blue Ocean Mussels, we take the minimum and return the rest for Mother Nature to nurture further. It relies only on the relationship between the ocean and the rope. Blue Ocean Mussels, prepared by nature.